Hello, hello. And yes, I am back here for another fabulous live. Let me just, yes, silence these notifications, make sure to turn off the phone, turn off the volume. I certainly don't want anyone disturbing us today. Hello, everyone. I hope you're having a fabulous day today. My name is Michael Smith, the National Education Manager of Janome, Canada, and I'm, back live from my palatial estate here in Collingwood, Ontario, Canada. I'm about 2 hours north of Toronto, and here in the Janome Canada Facebook page, Janome America Facebook page, Janome Sewing Machines, Janome Canada YouTube, and Janome America YouTube. So regardless of your streaming platform, how can we share the Janome love? We're always trying to do more. So I'm back again for another live, and what are we going to talk about today? Well, again, there's already so many Janome presser feet, optional specialty presser feet, most of them, that I've demoed already last month and this month, and even now as we get into December. Yes, there's always so many more feet that we can get and make great Christmas gifts too, or gifts at any time of year. So yes, the foot I'm going to demo today for binding purposes this month, absolutely, as we're desperately trying to get all of our projects finished in time. Let me flip around, yes, and get that back camera going. So the presser foot I'm going to talk about today is going to be on my fabulous Janome Memorycraft 1000. This is a 7mm high shank combo machine, sewing and embroidery. So speaking of Christmas gifts, if someone is going to learn to sew, wants to sew, maybe you already sew and you need a better machine, well, this fabulous Janome Memorycraft 1000 would definitely be a wonderful gift under the tree. The beautiful LED lighting, LCD screen, and then all of our convenient push button controls, speed control slider, reverse, scissor button, the needle up down, lock stitch, stop start. So we don't even need the power foot control. Does have a built-in needle threader here. And something else I learned last month doing these lives, these fabulous optic magnifiers are also an additional accessory that are available for a number of our Janome machines. Look at that. Look at that beautiful magnification. This is the 40 degree. And I know degree is not the right word, but I don't remember the correct word to describe the amount of magnification. So there is a 20, a 40, and a 60 degree magnification. So that just clips in if your machine is compatible. There is this little bar on the back of the holder, and around where the thread cutter is at the side of the machine, most of our machines have, there is a little port, boom, and you'll see it just goes right up in there. Now, not all machines have that little port, but it's around the thread cutter that's at the side of the machine. You can feel it, or you get your phone down on the bed of the machine to look up if you have that port. Put a little mirror on the bed of your machine to look up if you have that port. So these optic magnifiers certainly make a great Christmas gift as well. But the foot we're going to talk about today is, yes, the binder foot, the W foot. Now, this looks very peculiar, but it works so beautifully. This binder foot, you'll see, has this big funnel, as I call it, opening here, big funnel opening. And what this does is a lot like those bias tape makers, those Clover bias tape makers. It feeds in the fabric, so by the time it gets to this end, it folds in the raw edges and folds the strip in half. So we end up with this beautifully finished cord. In this case, this could be lacing. Now imagine if you have, oh yes, I think of, corsets. And if we're doing lacing, or again, tab curtains, this could be a tab. This could be a tie back for the curtains. Again, I think a lacing, like in a corset, would be great. Or even, yes, we could make a ribbon like this out of it. Just do a little stitch there. Or we just plunk this in the middle there and make a cute little bow. You just, do a little knot there. as a little bow. Like there's so much we could do just with these. Think of your chair pads that you can tie this around the arm of the chair there to keep the pad down. This could be a ponytail tie. Like there's so many things that we could do with just this cording, all finished, all beautifully done. But it was really good when we put it around to bind the edge of fabric. Again, it's the binder foot, and this is what it does. There is the wrong side, beautifully finished, right side, beautifully finished. In this case, my seam allowance is here. So I sewed regular 5/8 of an inch and then finished each edge of the seam allowance off. This is known as a Hong Kong finish in garment construction. Very beautiful. If you look in your high-priced designer wear, you will see this. I am a proud owner of a, dare I say, Armani suit. Yes, I don't know if I should say name brands, but yes, a big expensive suit. And yes, it is finished off beautifully. Every seam is finished beautifully with this Hong Kong finished. It is so good. No, again, how about as a tie? How about for your big chunky buttons? This isn't a big chunky button, but imagine a big chunky button. Well, there, instead of regular button holes, we could use the binder foot to create this tape, this lacing, this binding, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, wouldn't that be perfect? So we could make it like a loop there, boom, for your button. So wouldn't that work well in lieu of buttonholes? That would work out really, really good. So there's so many things that we could do, again, with this binder foot. So it is just a snap-on foot. Now, the cool thing is this binder foot is available for 5mm, 7mm, and 9mm machines. So everyone pretty much can share in the fun. So this foot, let me get this thread, thread right under there. I don't want to get this thread caught. Oh, I'll just leave it there. So there, I was going to try to put the thread under the foot. Maybe I'll do it this way. We really should do it this way. I was going to try to clip it in under. There's a little notch at the side, but instead I'll just do this. Works beautifully. So there, this binder foot. So we take our piece of fabric, it's 1 inch. Now in this case, I did cut it on the bias, so it is on the 45 degree. Now, depending on the application, we could use straight grain binding if we're just going to bind like the top edge of a pocket, for example. It doesn't need to be on the bias. If we're around a curve, oh, it definitely has to be on the bias. So as you'll see, then my strip is cut on the 45 degree, so then I can easily get it through the binder. Boom, just like that. Now, always make your strip longer. I'll set you all over here. Always make your strip longer, so then it comes out the back of the foot, and then you can always cut it down as you need. So in this case, I'm just going to hold my strip out here, and then again, my foot, I've got the strip through the back of my foot there, drop my presser foot. I'm just using my regular center needle position, which is set at 3.5, but instead of my 2.4 stitch length, I'm going to lengthen that to a 3.0. I'm going through multiple layers of fabric here because it's going to fold each of these raw edges to the middle, and then it's going to fold the whole strip in half. So I'm going to have 2 layers of fabric there, 2 layers of fabric, so 4 layers of fabric. So that's why, again, I like to lengthen my stitch, and then boom, away I go. And we just hold the strip out here like this, and it works so beautifully that we can finish off. Again, think of a pocket edge, oh, even around an apron, you want to make some ties for the apron. So we can use this foot for many purposes in many ways. So in this case, just my self fabric here, folded over, looking gorgeous. So again, this could finish off an edge of fabric, or we can use it just again like a tie here. And again, like a loop for our buttons, like that would be cool. Or again, a hair tie, you know, anything. Or again, ties for an apron. There is the tie. We sew that into the seam, and then there's the tie. Like, how simple is that? So that is one application of the foot, just to make the strips all perfectly beautiful. I should have did contrasting thread. Thought about that now. But say, as you see here, some leftover Christmas fabric there to make this cute little tie. Isn't that beautiful? So we could do that, or again, to finish off the edge of the fabric. So I will pull up, ooh, I had another piece of fabric. I'll just use this piece of fabric. Yes, so then to finish off the edge of the fabric. Now, we don't need to, again, always cut this on the bias. It depends on what the project is. So if I were doing this on a pocket edge, for example, I wouldn't need to have this on the bias. And let's just get this down through. Whatever is going to fit through this, oops, whatever is going to fit through this hole, maybe my tweezers will fit a little better through here. If I can pull that, yes. Maybe a large pin will help. My seam ripper was getting stuck in there. So yeah, maybe a large pin will help, or again, tweezers will help. So there we go. So these are my gorgeous tweezers from Heidi Profetti, fabulous Janome America artisan. So yes, aren't they beautiful? So yes, these needle nose perfect pliers look so good. So there we go, or tweezers. They're not quite pliers, but yeah. So see, then I can easily put my layer of fabric. I want to avoid sewing on that near that button. Let me just cut this very quickly. I left my bigger piece of fabric at my pressing station, but it's okay. There we go. So I just bring this through, and you'll see how it's just going to sew like so perfectly. It's going to finish this all in one step. So I just hold my piece of fabric up, my binding strip, and again, I hold my fabric approximately in the center of that binding strip. And it works out so well. And I'm not burning my fingers at the iron, trying to fold this all over. Like, so simple, so easy to do. Look at that. Perfect. There we go. So imagine if this is my apron. So then here is my tie. Or again, this could be my pocket edge. So this could be a straight grain of fabric. It doesn't have to be bias. But again, as a pocket edge, wouldn't that be a cute little accent detail? This could be, again, down a button placket that you could decorate that. This could be around a collar, a cuff. Again, if you're doing any curves, then this is where we need it. Just even here in my fingers, do you see how I can curve it? That's why we need bias cut to go around that soft curve very easily. So that works out really, really good. And on my little sample here, do you see these beautiful, again, Hong Kong finish seam allowances? And here, this is bias. So we can start manipulating this almost like, origami in a way, that we can start manipulating this and curve it around, and we could stitch on this whole big, this could even be like a decorative element that we take all of these strips, and again, we could arrange them and sew them on to a piece of fabric as I did here. And this could be the embellishment. So we could decorate fabric like for a pillow, a tote bag, a garment, anything that we want to use this lacing, the strapping, binding, again, whatever you want to call it, that we could use this for decorative purposes as well as functionally finishing off the edge of the fabric. So since I have my camera right here, and I'll point out what some people confuse the binder foot with the quilt binder set. So here is the binder foot, and you see with that funnel of how the fabric gets folded in on itself. So it finishes that all the raw edges, again, are covered. So it folds the raw edges into the middle, and then it folds the strip in half and stitches it down all in one step. So it works so beautifully. Now the quilt binder attachment works very similarly. You'll just see like, wow, that quilt binder is way bigger, but it has a similar funnel in that those raw edges are being folded to the middle, and then the strip gets folded in half. To finish, this is what, and as a sneak peek, I'm going to be demoing the quilt binder later this month. So stay tuned for that. It's coming up in about 2 weeks. So the quilt binder set here is, the binding finishes approximately about 1/2 inch. And I'm binding, in this case it was a placemat, but it is through my batting and my backing. So I have 3 layers here. So that's why we need the quilt binder set when we're going to bind quilts, when we're going to bind with like batting in between, thicker layers. We need a larger opening. The binding starts at 2 inches and it finishes at about 1/2 inch. So this is the quilt binder set. Again, I'm going to demo it. I think it's December 17th specifically. So I'm going to be demoing this soon. But this is the binder foot. So these are 2 different feet, 2 different accessories. They do much the same thing. But again, this binder foot is designed for 1 inch strips of fabric. And in this case, again, I did bias. And it is to bind a single layer of fabric. We really don't want to use this. It's not a very big opening in between the funnel here. It's not a very big opening. So we really don't have the room for batting. So it's designed, again, a 1 layer of fabric here. So I have sewn my regular 5/8 inch seam allowance, and now I'm ready to bind it with that Hong Kong finish. It's a very high-end designer finish, and again, very expensive, so you won't find it in, you know, commercial ready to wear. So this is typically more like, once we're getting into that very high price range. Now you will see though this sometimes, especially some of my men's dress shirts that weren't too expensive, they have the collar edge bound, or they have the inside of the button placket bound. So it's a really good technique to use when you want to add a little, again, designer touch without breaking the bank. This is how you can do it at home. And it's so good. And it looks like, you know, yes, that if you made a dress shirt and you added this, in fact, you could even take a commercial shirt and do this. And it looks like, oh my, you must have spent a fortune on that. And to think, no, I made it myself. And this is how you can make it look like very expensive designer wear when you do it all yourself, just with your specialty presser feet. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? All finished beautifully on the backside. Nothing is going to ravel. This definitely helps the wear and tear. My suit is a number of years old, and believe me, it still looks brand new because I keep good care of it. But also because, again, it's beautifully finished. Every seam allowance that is exposed is beautifully finished. So it really does make a big difference when you take the extra time to do these little designer touches in your garments, or again, it could be a tote bag. It's whatever you wish, whatever you're making, a home decor project, whatever it is you're making, you always want it to be as professional as possible. And oops, you will not have a tricky time getting this fed in because, again, you won't have a camera in front of you. But what I'm doing is then, again, feeding in another strip so I can do down the other side of my binding strip. On the other side of my seam allowances here, and I'll just feed that in. Do I have that? Almost. And it works so good. Again, if you take a pin or, again, these nice little narrow tweezers, this is why I love these tweezers. They just fit so well. So, yes, then we bind one edge, and then here we go on the other edge. So simple, so easy to do. So the binder foot, again, is an optional specialty presser foot available for 5mm, 7mm, and 9mm machines. So works really, really good. And there, wasn't that so simple to do? It looks like I spent hours, burning my fingers at the iron trying to get that done, and boom, I just did it in a matter of minutes. Oh, do you like it? It says Janome right there in the seam allowance. Isn't that perfect? So isn't that gorgeous? Boom, I just trim off my ends, and that's perfect. So the binder foot is such a great addition to any sewing machine. And again, where do we find out more information? Well, of course, we can go to janome.com or janome.ca, and we go to the accessories tab. And what are we looking for? We type in the binder foot, and it is the W foot. Now, I did the series A to Z with Janome. That's on the Janome Canada YouTube channel. And the W episode is the binder foot. And there, I just need to find, where is my mouse? Because, oops, make sure everything is plugged in. Then we get down to the binder foot. And then when I select that, there we go, binder foot. And then there are the part numbers for the 5 and 7mm, 9mm, the 5mm front loader machines. There is the binder foot. So again, it looks very unusual, but it works so wonderful. The engineering is just amazing. So the binder foot, you will find more information on janome.com or janome.ca. And as well, if we type in our browser here, Janome Life, and then we use the search box on the Janome Life blog, we type in the binder foot, and all upcoming blogs, boom, will come up. So here is a blog from many years ago that our previous Janome Canada educator Linda wrote, but there we go with full descriptions of what she did. So that is on Janome Life blog. Also on Janome Life, type in whatever you would like to learn about. So in this case, I'm typing in presser foot workbook, and all related posts to the presser foot workbook come up. And the presser foot workbook is another excellent resource for all things Janome. It's something I've shown on previous lives, where the presser foot workbook, it is a binder with all the regular presser feet, like the even feed foot. There's the A foot, there's the zigzag foot, the button sewing foot, the automatic buttonhole foot. A lot of those feet come with, the overcast foot, the over edge foot that I demoed last month. Those come with a number of machines. So that is in the presser foot workbook in the binder. And then there's all these addendums that are available for your specialty presser feet. Their specialty presser foot addendum that I've shown before, and here are all the feet that are included, like the applique foot that I demoed, and the three-way cording foot I demoed, the ruffler foot I demoed, ultra glide foot I demoed. That is all there in the specialty presser foot addendum. And then, oh look, there's one for binders and guides. So this has the binder foot, which is the W foot, and then it is also has the quilt binder attachment, which again is a sneak peek. I'm demoing in a couple of weeks. So you'll see the similarities between those feet and the differences between those feet. And again, a free motion addendum to the presser foot workbook. And there's even a Cover Pro addendum. So there are so many resources for learning available at your fingertips, available 24/7. And again, let's not forget our fabulous resource of our Janome Canada and Janome America dealers. So there we go. Let's flip this around. So yes, the binder foot, again, is so, it looks so complex the way that foot is designed, but it is so simple to use, so easy to use. And again, the results are perfect every time. You just sew, you let the foot do the work. That's what I love about all these Janome specialty presser feet. The foot does all the heavy lifting, makes us look like way better sewers than some of us maybe are. The presser feet really do all the work for us. So that's the wonderful thing. So thank you everyone so much for joining me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Have a fabulous